Sorry, Mrs. Hennig said, straightening her pointy glasses uncomfortably as she looked up at Maggie's mom. But it's time for our next presenter. Finally, Abigail sighed inside. She felt a little bad about thinking that. But Maggie's mom had been standing on the makeshift stage in the school cafeteria talking about her job in something called investments for a long, long time. To Abigail, it just sounded like math. Boring. Hopefully the next presentation would be more exciting. Leaning forward, Abigail saw the last parent stand up. His heavy, shiny black shoes thudded against the steps, and he paced to the center of the stage. Thud, thud, thud. Abigail's heart beat excitedly. As she looked closer, something shiny on the man's chest caught her eyes. A police badge. That meant it was Ian's dad, the police officer. His presentation had to be more fun than Maggie's mom's math. Hello, boomed Ian's dad, looking out over Abigail's class. You have the right to remain silent, Greg interrupted from next to Abigail, giggling. What's funny? Abigail wondered, looking wide-eyed at Greg. But then she remembered. That's what police officers say when they stop people. And Ian's dad was about to talk, and they'd been listening to parents talk for like a whole hour, and they wanted it to stop. If only Maggie's mom had the right to remain silent, muttered someone irritatedly. Abigail let a giggle out, and so did lots of other kids in her class. Abigail clapped her hand over her mouth, trying to stop. You wouldn't like it if people laughed at you, she told herself sternly, especially if you'd just been up on stage. Gulp. Abigail knew she was going to have to stand on stage for their career day on Saturday. What if she messed up, or talked too long, or picked a lame career? What if everyone laughed at her? Greg, Mrs. Hennig started. Greg was still laughing, even as Abigail nudged him to stop. Fwee! Fwee! Ian's dad blew on his police whistle, looking very serious. He tapped his foot and put one hand on his hip. Gulp. Abigail glanced over at Greg. Can 9-year-olds get arrested? She worried. His cheeks were bright red. He was just joking, but... As I was saying, the officer continued, leaning forward intently, I'm Officer Dave. I'm a police officer by day, and... Fwee, fwee, fwee! Fwee, fwee, fwee! An excellent whistler by night, he continued, cracking a smile. Can anyone in here whistle using just their mouths? Abigail didn't raise her hand. Whenever she tried to whistle, she just accidentally spat. But she knew without even looking that her best friend, Flora, sitting in the row behind her, was raising her hand excitedly. Flora was the best whistler in the 4th grade. She'd learned how when she was only 2. Let's hear it, Officer Dave grinned, nodding at Flora. Abigail turned around and gave Flora a thumbs up as she began her usual whistling playlist. Happy Birthday, Feliz Navidad, Twinkle Twinkle. Officer Dave interrupted Flora's performance with applause. Thank you, he exclaimed, motioning for her to sit again. Well, now you all know what a whistler does. But remember, I'm also a police officer. That means my job is to keep everyone safe. Clap, clap, clap. Now it was Officer Dave's turn to be interrupted. Mrs. Hennig kept glancing at the clock as she came to stand in front of the stage. Sorry to cut you off, but it's almost time for recess. Officer Dave looked a little disappointed, but he nodded and climbed back down the steps where all the parents now stood, facing the class. He was right next to Flora's dad, a dentist. Blech, Abigail groaned inside, looking at the fake teeth Dr. Flores was holding. His job was all about flossing and cavities and icky stuff. Whatever career she picked, Abigail definitely did not want to be a dentist. Mrs. Hennig started one more round of applause. Thank your parents, class, she said. They were great examples of how to present about a job. Clap, clap, clap. Greg thumped his hands as loud as he could, inspiring everyone else to clap louder.